Alright, how's it going? So today I'll be showing you guys how to draw a pose because while knowledge of concepts like anatomy and perspective is important, it's also important to know the workflow when it comes to drawing something, and that's what we're going to be going over. So first I need to decide where I want the upper and lower borders of my drawing to be. Then I'm going to drop a vertical line down just so I have a way to keep the pose perpendicular to the ground. Then I need to find the midway point of the body. It's kind of hard to see because of the skirt, but it somewhat lines up with the wrist. So in this case, it'd be somewhere around there. Then from here, we go from the top of the head down to the bottom of the feet, and then we look at where this line touches our vertical line. It seems to be a little above the actual halfway point of the line. So in our drawing, if the halfway point is here, the midway point of the body is going to be somewhere around there. Now I'm going to use the head as a measuring tool. So first we need to figure out how tall the head is, and then we just project this distance down to figure out how tall the torso is, and it seems like the torso is around 2.5 times the height of the head. Then we can do the same thing with the legs, and it seems like these are around 3.5 heads tall. The entire body is 7 heads tall in that case, and I get that the measuring is kind of annoying, but unfortunately it's something you have to do to be able to get used to seeing the proportions with your eyes. Now we figured out the proportions, and I'm going to teach you guys a couple ways to essentially cheat when you're drawing from reference. One of the ways you can cheat is by using angles. I think this is one of the things beginners usually don't pay attention to, but this is what you need to know to be able to draw things the way exactly you're seeing them instead of how you think you're seeing them. Looking at the head, it's pointing that way. Pretty easy, right? So all we have to do is just draw a head that's using that same tilt. I'm just going to keep it very simple, like that. Now we need to figure out the position of the spine. It's not going straight down like that. We know that the midway point of the body is around there, and we know that the spine starts there. So if we follow the neck like that, then we follow the rib cage, and then lastly we go down to the pelvis like that. In our drawing, I'm going to start here and then very loosely go down like that. Now we need to figure out the angle between the shoulders. Her left shoulder is slightly higher than her right shoulder, meaning there is a diagonal angle like that. And then with the hips, it's the same thing, although you can't really see it again because of the skirt. But if all the weight is resting on one leg, the hip on the same side is going to be raised compared to the hip on the other side. You can try this yourself in the mirror. If you're putting all of your weight on one leg, that hip is going to go up. Now we need to figure out the position of the arms and legs, and before I do that, I actually want to make this a little slimmer because I think I made it too wide. I'm going to teach you guys another way to cheat. So we know the edges of the head are around there, right? Her right shoulder is there and her left shoulder is there. Now look at the gaps between these two lines. In our drawing, we have to make sure that we replicate these gaps. So one shoulder is going to be there, and then the other one has to be all the way over there. We can do the same thing with the hips. We can see that one hip is around there, and again, the head is there, and then the other hip is around there. So her right hip is wider than her right shoulder, but then on the other side, the shoulder is there, and then the hip is there, which means we need to place it around there. Now this vertical line I drew at the start, if we put this in our reference image, it touches the foot at that point. This is something that has to do with center of gravity and base of support. So, for example, if you have your finger here, or you're balancing a pen on your finger, let's say the center of gravity of the pen is right there. The center of gravity is going down. Your finger acts as the base of support. The pen is not going to fall because the center of gravity is directly above the base of support. But if the center of gravity was here, and our finger is still here, the pen is going to fall that way. With people, it works the same way. They have a center of gravity, and their feet, which are the base of support, have to be directly below that center of gravity, or else they're going to fall. If her feet were all the way over here, and her center of gravity is here, you can clearly tell that she's about to fall over. Now we know the feet need to be basically directly below the head. Also, when I say the feet need to be directly below the center of gravity, I actually mean the base of support needs to be directly below the center of gravity. So if we have a character standing up, their center of gravity is going directly down the middle. If their feet are just in a normal position like this, you can draw a line between both feet, and that line is the base of support. The center of gravity falls on this, and now the character is balanced. If they were to spread out their legs like this, the base of support gets wider, but the character is still balanced because the center of gravity is on top of it. You could even have one leg like this, and then the other one can be way out here. That's the base of support. The character is still balanced because the center of gravity is on that line. But if one of the legs is here and the other one is there, now the center of gravity is outside of that and the character is going to fall over. Don't forget that this leg is angled this way. It's not going straight down, it's at an angle. Same thing with her lower leg, it's angled that way. The other leg is doing the exact same thing. It's angled this way and this one is angled that way. Now to place the arm, again, first look at the angle of the arm. It's going that way, so we replicate that like that. So that's it for the pose. From here, we need to figure out some of the details, which actually isn't that difficult. This shirt is actually a very good example of a simplified upper torso, because we have this line from where the sleeves start. We go down like this, up, and then that is basically our torso. To replicate that, we can do something like this. Then we know the crotch is around there. If we draw a line up, it's somewhere around there. We can simplify the hips to this trapezoid shape. For the legs, we can do very simplistic cylindrical shapes like that. Now for the other leg, I think that hip was a little too wide, so we draw it down like this. Notice how far this leg actually curves inwards. My curve does not do that, so I have to change this a little bit. The other side of the leg starts pretty high up, all the way there, curves back out. Now for the arm, the elbow is going to be somewhere around there. There's an angle going that way, so we need to capture that there. Arm goes down like that. Then from here, the lower arm overlaps the upper arm there. Go in. And that is pretty much it, I think. And here's the finished piece. Now, I hope this was helpful. I'll probably do some more videos about poses in the future. And if you like the video, be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe. You can support the channel through my Patreon if you want. And we also have a Discord server, so if you want to get advice there, be sure to join that. But yeah, I think that about does it, so I'll catch you all next time.